Noise from Mike Zetlow. Come on. That's my favorite showbiz lingo, by the way, make some noise. Do you ever think about that phrase? It's like a vague thing to ask a group of strangers, right? When somebody asks you to make some noise, they're not asking you to make just any noise. There's like two. Applause. Woo! Maybe, ow! That's pretty much the gamut of the make some noise request, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's one right there. Guys, I have a secret hope that one day I'll be at a show and somebody will say that from the stage. And everybody in the audience will have never been to a show before in their lives, but they're all really groovy and open-minded, and everybody just makes their own noise. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. If somebody busted out Tom Jones unsolicited, I think that I would take off my panties and gingerly toss them to that person. Which is why I wear women's underwear on stage every night, just in case. You can check. We got some seats up front here. Sometimes if you go to a crowded bar and you say hey, is it cool if I sit here? Sometimes people say, go ahead, it's a free country, right? I was thinking I wonder if when you go to other places, if there's an equivalent phrase, if you're in a bar in Syria, and you're like, hey, is it cool if I sit here? If people ever say, go ahead, it's a dictatorship, nobody cares what you do. We'll probably all be murdered in our sleep one day. So take a load off, relax for now. And you guys seen the commercials for ChristianMingle.com? If you don't know it, it's a dating website for people who want a Christ-centered love relationship. Like most of us here, I think, even us Jews probably wish for that. No. Seriously. Sometimes you get into a new relationship and you're like, this feels right, but would an imaginary ghost hippie from 2,000 years ago sign off on this? That's an important question. But their slogan is find God's match for you on ChristianMingle.com. That's amazing, right? How did they get God for that gig? I just imagine God in front of his laptop just scrolling through internet profiles, just I cannot believe I agreed to do this. I'm super busy with all kinds of God stuff. All right, let's see. David should go with Colleen, I guess. I don't know. I'm glad they're paying me for this. Just doing this till I get my shit together. Ooh, check out the titties on her. Good work, me. Okay, guys, my God voice needs work. You're totally right. It does sound like my voice. Good call. I wonder if people who meet on Christian Mingle, if they have premarital relations, do they get kicked off the site? I hope they do. I want justice for my Christian brothers and sisters. In that way only. But let's start there. I gotta lose a little weight. I had this, not a lot, but there was a year straight where a bunch of people I met would said hey, you kind of look like Matthew McConaughey, which is don't laugh at that. That's a nice thing to hear, but I crossed some kind of line, I guess, because a couple of comics around town have started calling me Fatty McConaughey, which, hurts my heart, and it's good to cry sometimes, but... So I want to just drop a few, get back to failure to launch era McConaughey. But you have to pick a diet, and there's all these different diets. I just started the Special K diet this last week. So every morning I get up, I have to eat a bowl of ketamine, and then I drink 6 ounces of absinthe, and then I don't eat anything for the rest of the day. Well, I should say I don't remember eating anything for the rest of the day. Usually I'll trip really hard for an hour and a half, pass out for 10 hours, get up, weigh myself, pass out again. So it seems to be working. I just hope I have the discipline to keep going, huh, ladies, and not die. Am I right? All right, I really want to win over the 7 people who are still chatting. It's weird that I wouldn't focus on you 40 people who are nice and not cunts, but... You're not? I said you're not. So I live in Los Angeles, where pot is legal-ish. It's, it's pretend legal. And it's full-on legal now in Washington and Colorado. And let's hear it for that. It doesn't really matter, though. You know what I mean? if you love pot, you will find and smoke pot. Like, that's always been the case, right? Nobody's ever said, like, my friend gave me this awesome joint for my birthday, but it's illegal. Flush. Oh. I want to be groovy, but the laws of the land are more important. Nobody's ever said that, right? But it's going to be full-on legal in this country in the next few years. And the fascinating thing about that to me is that means that in the future, like 15, 20 years from now, there are going to be parents who sit their kids down and say, you know, you kids have it so easy. When I was your age, when we wanted pot, we had to call a guy. We couldn't just go down to Costco and get a bunch. Sometimes we would have to wait 3 or 4 hours until we got our pot, and we'd have to hang out with a guy. Have you ever sat and listened to an hour and a half of Dave Matthews covers on acoustic guitar to get your drugs? No. That was no picnic. And you know how we used to have to do our pot? We used to have to smoke it. Yeah. We couldn't get it in a soda or a lip balm or a topical cream. Smoking is bad for you, Bobby. Don't you ever let me catch you smoking your pot. You eat it or drink it or rub it on yourself like everybody else. That is how we get high in this house, young man. If I find out you've been smoking your pot, you will lose your spaceship privileges. And when you want to take your robot girlfriend to watch a poor person get executed, you'll be on the bus, mister. It's the future in this joke. Maybe you missed that part. You know, I'd like to address something that's I can tell from this, looking at this crowd, there is a linguistic tragedy that is occurring in this country. So guys chatting in the back, let me just real quick get your ear for a second. The word random means one thing. It means chosen arbitrarily. That is all. Okay? It doesn't mean weird. That movie was so random. No, it wasn't a series of flashing images. It had the same characters in the beginning, middle, and end. Random also does not mean generic or unimportant. She just hooked up with some random guy at the party. No, I don't think that he was chosen at random. I think he was probably in the top 50th percentile of attractiveness at the party, and you were probably in the lower 30th percentile of awareness. That is not random. Random also does not mean unexpectedly. I heard a comic on stage a couple of weeks ago say, I got totally baked at my house, and then my dad stopped by randomly. Okay, so your dad just was like walking around your neighborhood having no idea it was your neighborhood and just said, like, I want to knock on a door. Oh, how about this one? Oh, it's my son. You're high. What's going on? And random does not mean intermittently, once in a while. A friend of mine actually said this to me. She said, I just smoke randomly here and there. So you just like close your eyes and wrap your lips around things, and sometimes it's a cigarette? All right. Good luck with that. Mike, do they have karaoke here ever? Not here? I just love karaoke. I do. Who likes karaoke here? I'm assuming some of the music people like that. Man, if you're not one of the people who responded, go to karaoke when you're depressed. That's when you'll get into it. No, seriously. You go, you have a refreshing beverage, and you see the people up there singing, and you think, you know what? I've got a long way to go before I hit bottom. Those people are fucking pathetic. I do love karaoke. Here's the thing. If you're gonna try karaoke, one suggestion. Know the song a little. A little! How much should we know the song, Josh? Well, let's say there's a big screen TV 5 feet in front of you. If you can read English and sing along, go for it. Otherwise, maybe just sit this one out. Study at home. People will pick a song that everybody knows, and it'll be like, ground control to Major Tom. Troll to Major Tom. Troll to Major Tom. Tom. Wife, I love her very much. She knows. Woo! All right. Before I go, I just want to address another problem in this country. I'd like to talk about eating pussy. I think it's wrong. Let me explain. It's not You're stunned, I know. It's not a moral or an ethical issue, and it's something I'm pretty good at. It's one of my few legitimate skills. But grammatically, eating pussy, wildly inaccurate. Do you know what I mean? You're not eating when you do this act. I will say no one in this room has ever eaten pussy. You've tasted pussy, perhaps, but if the pleasure of a woman is involved, no, sir, you are not eating. Listen, if you do this thing, you're down there for 45 minutes, you do the best job ever, you leave no stone unturned. That's a weird metaphor. There's just not a significant amount of digestion that occurs. 1.2 ounces maybe, 1.4 if you're lucky, and even then, technically you're drinking pussy juice. Or pussy blood. Oh, unless you're a coward. I'm just saying, no one has ever done this thing and said, oh, I am full. I could not have another bite. Rain check on the rest. Really appreciate it. Let's close those legs. All right. Thanks so much, guys.